I think Kamala Harris was a very competent person to run for president.
Because I think she was a great candidate. I think she ran a great campaign, and I don't think people knew her well enough.
Kamala, total loser. Quite frankly, I'm surprised she's even still living in the country.
What is going on, everyone? James Klug here. A recent poll showed that Kamala Harris is at the top of the list for Democratic presidential candidates in 2028. So what do people think about this? Do they support a third chance for Kamala, or are they done with her? Today we're gonna find out. Let's go talk to some people. Huge shout out to our friends over at Allegiance Gold for sponsoring this video. So we're talking about a recent Puck News poll that showed that Kamala Harris, she's at the top of the list when it comes to Democrat nominees in 2028, right? Okay. So they asked Democrats, hey, who would you like to see as the Democratic nominee in 2028? Kamala Harris was the #1 answer by a pretty good margin.
What news poll is that?
Puck News.
Puck News.
It's a snap poll. Right after the election, they do like a snap poll. Are you, as a Democrat, on board with that, or are you moving on from Kamala?
No, well, it depends on the
This
other
would be the third time she's ran.
For president?
Yes.
No.
19, 24, 2028.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, okay. All right. I didn't know about 19. 2019 she ran?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wasn't paying attention then.
I'm on board.
You're on board with it?
Yeah, I think she
There you
just
go.
needs more exposure.
Probably a good idea. I don't know what other options they have currently.
Yes.
You think she should run again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Anyone else?
Fair shot.
What was that?
I don't think she had a fair shot.
Because I think she was a great candidate. I think she ran a great campaign, and I don't think people knew her well enough. And I'm not sure why during the Biden administration, why they didn't put her out there more, but they didn't, so people didn't know her.
You said that other people are saying that she should try again, and I think that's only because she's top of mind.
That's absolutely correct.
So just because of the recency bias, which, like, yes, I'm all for it. Like, I think Kamala Harris was a very competent person to run for president.
I think I'm moving on. I don't know who to. I think that in the process of her running that she was labeled and branded in a certain way, that stigma is not going to go away.
You, as a Democrat, are you in favor of that, or is it okay? Hey, let's move on. You're saying move on?
Move on.
Why is that?
She had her chance and didn't perform.
Definitely ditch Kamala.
Ditch Kamala.
Yeah,
Why is that?
She wasn't even voted to be primary in the first place. They kind of shoehorned in there.
You, as a more conservative person, do you think Kamala Harris should run again in 2028?
No. Yes.
Yes. Why do you think so?
So the Republicans can sweep again.
Okay.
She alienates too many voters.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a bad idea to choose her again to run.
I think she's going to go away and sip on her wine and do what she should have been doing, which is just sitting on the sidelines and watching the Trump show.
Kamala, total loser. Quite frankly, I'm surprised she's even still living in the country.
I think they've already made a mistake with her in 2024. Why repeat the same mistake?
Yeah.
Because obviously she was not the favorite choice.
You know, we do have a handful of Democrats that are saying she's going to be great, she'll do it again. People didn't know her well enough. What would your response to that be? People didn't know Kamala well enough.
You can't erase the internet, and you can't erase all her ramblings. Talking about switching the covers of a lid for a Starbucks cup so her lipstick wouldn't show on it isn't presidential policy.
Yeah.
Immigration, fighting crime, inflation, those are the policy people care about, not Starbucks cups.
Well, you guys, the world feels more unstable than ever. Inflation's eating away at our savings, markets are flipping up and down, and our financial system is broken. We've all been told to work harder and trust the system, but the system as it exists now isn't built to serve you. It's built to survive off you. Waiting for the system to fix itself isn't a strategy. It's gambling with your hard-earned money. And while speculators are gambling on fake money, I, as well as many of my wonderful channel enjoyers, are betting on something real. Gold from Allegiance Gold. Gold operates on a level that paper assets can't touch. It ensures that what you've built doesn't disappear overnight. And you guys, the team over at Allegiance Gold are true patriots. I gotta say, my channel would not be where it is today without them. They've been supporting my channel for years now. They've helped so many of you guys watching protect your financial financial future, and when it comes to protecting your wealth, they're truly the best in the business. With Allegiance Gold, you can choose physical gold or roll it into a physical gold IRA tax and penalty free. Go to protectwithklug.com right now and get up to $5,000 in free silver today. Do not gamble, protect your future. That is protectwithklug.com, protectwithklug.com. I'll put a link down in the description below. Let's get back into this video.
How do you think she would perform in an open primary in 2028 against other candidates, given her track record?
Well, 100%. I think she would do great. I mean, she's a former public defender, right? She can definitely, as a prosecutor, hold her own with some of the best in the world. What I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason that I believe she lost is because 20% of the Democrats didn't come out and vote. I mean, she would have won.
There's a lot of Democrats that say this as well when it comes to her not being decisive under pressure, her not being very good with interviews.
Really?
You disagree with that?
I totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
why is that?
Were you fact-checking anything that she said? I mean, if you look at her competitor, Trump, okay, I mean, do you think he was decisive? Do you think tell me what you think about his interviewing skills.
Yeah, no, I think it's a reasonable question for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not so much talking about like the fact checking. I'm talking about being able to sit down and do an interview with maybe opposition and be comfortable doing that. You know, Donald Trump did that way more than Kamala Harris. In fact, when it came to Donald Trump would do 3-hour conversations. He would do hour podcasts. Where Kamala Harris, there is no examples of her doing that. And the reason why she didn't do that is just because her team didn't trust her with longer interviews.
You really think so?
Yes, ma'am.
You honestly think so? Where do you get that information?
Well, I mean, we can use Joe Rogan for an example. They were trying to get like 40 minutes on Joe Rogan instead of the normal 3 hours, you know?
So you understand
But we
that
can do
just
Call Her
because they
Daddy
didn't-
podcast. It was like 20 minutes. We can do her 60-minute interview where, you know, there was kind of a...
How about the presidential debate? How about the presidential debate? Didn't you think she held her own?
I think she did. I think she did pretty. I think she did okay on the presidential
So why do you
debate.
think she can do a presidential debate but can't give an interview?
Well, I don't know, but her team was avoiding interviews for at least the first couple months. Do you not remember this?
Well, she did
During
have
her-
a short period to run. You understand that, right? You know, she...
But if you want to prove to the American people that you're good in interviews and you're decisive under pressure, shouldn't you be doing more than Trump, more interviews than Trump?
Well, I mean, I think it was safe to say that she was putting in more than a 40-hour work week when she hit the campaign trail, and she was able to fundraise better than Trump during that time period. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, she raised. They went through $1.4 billion.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So what I think personally is that
Well,
I don't
but
think
that
she was
doesn't
able
really-
to get out the vote. She
Yeah.
couldn't get out the Democrats. For some reason, the Democrats stayed home.
I think that being able to present yourself in front of the camera in an interview is a skill and a talent that some people have and others don't. She could be tremendously qualified to run the country. But if she doesn't come off that way when the hard questions come flying at her in an interview and she has to perform on cue and it doesn't work, then it doesn't sell.
Well, I mean, that's really. I'm not even saying anything other than that right here. I'm saying, yeah, I mean, she, even from pretty basic questions, she struggles to have a decisive answer in interviews. And so comparing that to other people like, let's say, Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer or Josh Shapiro, they all outshine that. And I think that would make it so if people were voting for the Democratic candidate, they would not choose her. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think there are other potential candidates who know how to spar a little bit better than she does.
So I think the next 4 years would be very important for her in staying at the top of people's minds. People forget stuff they saw on Instagram 3 swipes ago. So people remembering something that happened in this year, 2024, 4 years from now, like, I'm not, like, it's all recency bias again. Like, I think whatever happens those months in 2027, I guess, like when people are going to start doing their runs.
That's right.
Whatever happens then, that's what's going to decide. But I would like to see more. I would like to see a selection, and I would like to see a primary. I would like to have actual say in who should be running for the Democratic Party.
You didn't get that this time.
She didn't have to do any of that. They just pushed her into the limelight.
She did in 2019, actually.
Yeah, and in 2019 she failed miserably. That's why she didn't even go to the primary in Iowa. I mean, it stopped right there at the beginning. So she does not have the background. Nice lady, if you want to like her, that's fine, no problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we need a leadership in this country. The world is not the same way it used to be, so we definitely need to make sure that we have somebody that's going to lead this country out of the misery.
And I would love to see a woman be president, but I would not vote for her even if she was a Republican.
And
again, I don't know how she could possibly be a Republican in any way.
No.
But I understand your point. You're talking about voting for strength and competence, and you're not seeing her falling under that category.
No.
You don't vote based on sex. You don't vote based on skin pigment. You vote based on qualification. Whomever has the qualification, doesn't matter sex or skin pigment, vote for them.
We might have to get you to talk to some people that we're talking to today, that's for sure. Given her track record as well, 2019, 2024, how do you think she would perform in an open primary?
We're going to vote in a woman. Eventually we will. And it just depends on when the time is right.
For you, is that a major reason for voting for Kamala Harris?
Not necessarily.
But it's just a bonus.
Yes.
A lot of people don't think women can come into stuff like this and be very strong.
So you think maybe it just has to do with her being more of a woman than anything else?
A lot of people don't like women being in power. Let's be for real.
I think there's still a lot of misogyny and racism that also factored into her getting trounced like that.
What do you think Kamala's greatest weaknesses are as a candidate? You know, what are her weaknesses?
Joe Biden was her greatest weakness.
I don't really see any weaknesses.
The problem with the Democrat Party right now is they're looking at every other excuse besides the reason they lost. The reason they lost is because their candidate was incompetent.
She has no clue what she's talking about a majority of the time. She couldn't even speak without a teleprompter. She refused to go on a few different interviews without having a pre-written speech for her, which I'm not a Trump supporter myself, but seeing how Trump was able to go on, say, what was that, Joe Rogan, I think? Yeah, and he just straight up did it. You need to be able to talk. You need to be able to speak to the people that you're supposed to be representing. If you can't do that, how can I trust you?
One of her weaknesses is not being strong. She's not strong. She doesn't give people that impression that she's strong and that she's fit for that position.
She did not get a grasp of what we, the people in this country, really need or want, and she did not grasp what the state of the world is at nowadays. I mean, we're in a dangerous position. Quite frankly, I'm one of those that believe that if she had won, God forbid, we would be on the verge of World War III. And I think it's a different world. It's not like where we can play kumbaya with just about everybody. You've got to make sure that you lead in this world.
People who I knew on all sides of the political spectrum were not feeling comfortable with her, just her responses, her presence in front of the camera, kind of the way she speaks a lot but doesn't actually say much.
Well, you know, she's, unlike what the news said, I think she's, fairly smart person.
Kamala comes across really stupid.
I mean, she can't hold a conversation. You talk about 3 hours on Joe Rogan. She wouldn't even make 10 minutes because she can't sit there and have a common conversation. I mean, like when she went on that lady, what was that?
Call Her Daddy
Yeah,
podcast.
I mean, she went through, my understanding is that her and the Democrats, this is how fake these people are. It's called being real. She went and actually put together a stage that she was going to be doing it for like $100,000. And even the lady that did the go whatever that daddy thing is, the lady that did that, she said she has a wonderful studio, with marble and all this other stuff didn't cost that. So it's just the mindset of what they do. They have no clue how to run a government. That's why you like Trump as a businessman.
What direction would you guys like to see the Democratic Party going in for 2028? Somebody more moderate than Kamala Harris or somebody further to the left?
I do not agree that Kamala Harris was so far to the left. I mean, you Californians, how do you think of her? I think she's pretty middle of the road. She's pretty pro-business. She is pro-climate action, which is a great thing. Does that make her far left?
She had some positions that were pretty aggressive more in 2019, 2020.
Yes.
She compared ICE, like deporting illegals, to like the KKK, and she believes in she did, at least at that time, believe in decriminalizing illegal immigration. There would be a couple things that were more left-wing, I would argue. She's probably the furthest left Democratic nominee in American history.
Yes, I would say that.
But there's people that are further left than her.
In the party,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think she still represents the center of the party.
See, we live together. We don't agree on
I
anything.
mean, in terms of, let's say, center left, center right, I think she's center left, but she's part of the center, I would say.
Huh, okay.
I mean, because look at who's on the far left. I mean, we got, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's on the far left, and she's going to take a big leadership in the next Congress.
Right.
So that is going to be a big deal. The party's changing.
Hopefully not.
The Democratic Party, what direction would you like to see them go in 2028? Somebody more moderate than Kamala Harris or somebody further to the left?
Further to the left.
I want to say go more liberal.
More moderate, definitely, because I'm more of a centrist myself.
We have to overcorrect for what is about to happen, which I'm assuming like a lot of stuff is about to happen in the next 4 years that I'm personally not going to like.
There's goods and bads on both sides. The problem is the more leftist candidates we get, the more far left they get. So if you're a centrist, you're basically a rightist to a lot of different liberal minds.
Go left or go centrist. I don't know. They'd have to study and study and study this, and they need to do it quickly.
As far as I'm concerned, the Democrat Party, I don't know if they'll recover after this. You tell me, what do they have right now? I mean, what do they have for a platform, and who do they have for a leader?
You said further left. Now, who would you like to see run instead of Kamala Harris? Would you like to see, who falls under that category? AOC for you?
I would love it.
People are saying like AOC, like I think I really dig her and I love the things that she says.
Yeah.
I don't know, 4 years, she totally could.
I would love to see Newsom up there. I think he would be great because I think he would get the male vote.
I think Gavin Newsom is fantastic.
Do you think she's comparable in interviews to Newsom, Kamala Harris?
I think Newsom is a world-class debater. I don't know. I've never seen them against each other. It would definitely be fun to watch.
Do you think the homelessness or crime in California would be a problem for him going into his presidential run, or no?
They'll make it a problem. Yeah,
Do you not think it's a problem in California?
I do think it's a problem. There are problems in every state, but it's definitely going to be a vulnerability for him.
If it did turn out to be Kamala Harris, right? If it did turn out to be Kamala Harris and Trump's administration is a success, how's that election going to go in 2028?
Bill Clinton said it's all about the economy, and it's all about the economy. So if Trump is successful and the economy, inflation gets under control, the economy sees improvement, maybe conflicts in the Middle East and in Ukraine come to an end, it's going to be hard to defeat that legacy, and the incumbent who would be his vice president, it's a tall road, tall hill to climb.
Well, I think you saw what the country did on November 5th. Every corner of this country, every single demographic polled higher for Trump than he did in 2016. Every corner. So this wasn't just a bunch of conservatives. This was America saying, we don't want any more of this crap.
I feel good. I feel like overall the feeling is good about how this election went, and I feel like we have a little bit of momentum going into these next 4 years. So let's hopefully keep that momentum going and keep charging forward.
What would your message be to Democrats that are saying, hey, you know what? Let's give her a third try, because she ran in 2019. She obviously ran again in 2024 right. This year. What would your message be to them that are saying, hey, third time's the charm?
Go for it. Go for it. Waste their time, waste their money, and watch her lose.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. So it really seemed like Republicans are more excited about Kamala Harris running for president in 2028 than Democrats, just because they want somebody to beat again. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that bell notification button so you are notified next to my post. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Excuse me, your thoughts on Kamala Harris running again?